I'm extremely bullish on silver. However, it is really difficult to find a quality silver company that's trading at a fair price. So in this video, I'm going to attempt to give you my 10 best ways to play silver in 2024. I'm starting at number 10 and counting down to number 1, my favorite way to play the silver market. And number 10 is Fresnillo PLC. So this is a Mexican company. They've been operating in Mexico for a long time. Now mining in Mexico has gone downhill over the last several years. However, if anybody knows how to operate well in Mexico, it's Fresnillo. They're one of the world's biggest silver producers, and they trade over the counter in the US under the ticker FNLPF. Personally, I think this company is too expensive right now, trading at about 1.25 times NAV. And all of the NAV numbers that I'm going to give you in this video are coming from analysts covering the company, and I'm taking the mean number, the average number of all of the analysts. Number 9 on my list is Industrias Peñoles, trading under the ticker IPOAF in the US. Now this is actually the parent company of Fresnillo. So Peñoles owns 75% of Fresnillo, and Peñoles also has a bunch of other businesses as well. So basically, why I rank Peñoles above Fresnillo, even though Peñoles is a lower percentage silver, is because Peñoles is just a much cheaper way to buy Fresnillo. Number 8 is Silvercorp, trading in the US under the ticker SVM. Now they're actually trading at a very fair price at 0.57 times NAV. However, the big reason why I don't like this company is because all their operations are in China. And as an American, seeing what's going on between the US and China and Taiwan, well, I don't really feel comfortable investing in China. However, Silvercorp have proven to be very, very good operators. They keep repatriating that money that they earn in China back into Western countries. And also they just diversified into Ecuador with their purchase of Adventus Mining. Now over the next year or so, I think Silvercorp shares are going to be under a lot of pressure because although they're mostly silver right now, Adventus Mining is mostly copper, especially since they sold most of their gold and silver coming from their El Domo project to Wheaton Precious Metals. So they're now a silver company, but they're buying a copper company. So I think a lot of people who are invested in this for the silver will sell it because they don't want to invest in the copper. And also I think there will be a lot of Adventus shareholders who are going to receive Silvercorp shares who don't want to hold Silvercorp shares because they don't want to take the China risk. And also I think there's a lot of Adventus shareholders who will want to sell because they were invested in Adventus for the copper, and now they're going to own a company that's mostly silver. So because of all those reasons, I think there's going to be a lot of selling pressure on this stock over the next year or so. But I really, really like that they're diversifying out of China, and they're proven to be very good mine builders and great operators, and they have the cash to build that El Domo project in Ecuador. So I'm actually going to be adding this to my watch list, I think, and be looking for a time to enter at a much lower price. Number 7 is Silvercrest, trading in the US under the ticker SILV. So Silvercrest has one operating mine in Mexico. They are earning a lot of money from that mine, but it's pretty risky because they're operating in Mexico, which has a lot of problems when it comes to mining. And also they have just one operating mine. So if something happens to that mine, well, then that could destroy the company. So there's a lot of risk there. And as a reward for taking that risk, you're paying 1.2 times NAV to buy the company. So I think it's too expensive. However, I think they're going to be a big beneficiary of a rising silver price. From the unsophisticated retail investor, I think a lot of them will like the ticker SILV, and it trades on the big board in the US, so people with a Robinhood account can buy it, for example. They are growing their reserves, so maybe the company will grow into that 1.2 times NAV valuation and end up getting that down to 1 times NAV or something like that. So overall, I think it's too expensive, but I do think the stock price is going to go way up if the silver price goes up. Next is Mag Silver, trading under the ticker in the US MAG. I think this is a lot like Silvercrest because they also have one operating mine in Mexico, and they also have a listing on the big board in the US, but it's just trading at a better price, so that's why it ranks higher than Silvercrest. But again, lots of risk there since they only have one mine and it's in Mexico. Number 5 on my list is Dolly Varden Silver, trading over the counter in the US under the ticker DOLLF. Unlike all of these so far up here, this is not a producing company. They're a development company. However, they have one of the biggest undeveloped silver projects that has a realistic chance to get into production that's also in a safe jurisdiction. Their project is in British Columbia, Canada. You may have heard Rick Rule say that he will not invest in British Columbia outside of the Toltan Nation and the Nisga'a Nation. Now, these are the indigenous groups, or the First Nations, as they call them in Canada. But Dolly Varden's project is in the territory of the Nisga'a. They keep growing their ounces. It's been a well-run company, so I think it's a very good development play in the silver space. Number 4 is Pan American Silver, trading in the US under the ticker PAAS. I don't really consider this much of a silver company, as only 20% of their revenue comes from silver. However, I think the market has a perception that they are a silver company. And this is one of the bigger names, one of the more liquid names. So I think it will be one of the big beneficiaries of an increasing silver price. And also they have a potential to increase that 20% number by a lot, because they have a massive silver project in Argentina and another massive silver mine in Guatemala. And if either one of those gets approved by the government, well, they could double their silver production, or if both of them get into production, they could triple their silver production. So when buying Pan American Silver, you're paying about 0.9 times NAV, which is a reasonable price, but basically for free you get those two potential catalysts in that Guatemala mine and that Argentina mine that could eventually come into production. My next favorite way to play silver is through Origin Royalties. This trades over the counter in the US under the ticker OGNRF. Now, this company is a small royalty company, and they have just one producing royalty, and that is on First Majestic's Ermitaño mine. They have a 2% royalty. Now, in terms of revenue, that mine is mostly gold, but there is still a decent amount of silver coming from that mine as well. But the truth is that the real value in this company lies in their 1% royalty on AngloGold's Ashanti expanded silicon project in Nevada. That project and those deposits are growing like crazy, and as that project grows more and more, this one producing royalty becomes less relevant to the company. But despite them being a small company, they have positive cash flow, they have a great balance sheet with over 20 million in cash, and they have a lot of potential in the future. And one of my favorite ways to play silver is through Wheaton Precious Metals, trading in the US under the ticker WPM. Randy Smallwood is a CEO, and he has proven to be exceptional at his job. They've proven to be very, very good capital allocators, and they have a really strong balance sheet. They have new mines that will be coming into production before too long, and they keep deploying more capital intelligently. And you know what? Most of the streams they're buying are silver streams. So they might buy a silver stream on a copper mine or a silver stream on a gold mine. So they're really trying to get as much exposure to silver as they can. So I really, really like Wheaton Precious Metals. I think it's a very high quality company that's really well run, really great management, great balance sheet. I can't recommend this company enough. Of course, you want to pay a fair price for it, like you would with any one of these companies, but very, very high quality silver company here. Because it's so hard to find a quality company that produces silver, my number one play to invest in silver is just buying physical silver, but with the caveat that you're paying a low premium and you're making sure you're getting an authentic product. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're interested in my newsletter, click on this link right here. And next, watch one of these videos, and I'll see you over there.